Hello students, in this video we are going to cover the topic Dispersion of White Light by a Glass Prism of chapter 11 The Human Eye and the Colourful World of 10th class NCERT textbook. Okay, before we discuss this, let us consider one activity. All of you know what is prism now. Okay, so if we take a thick cardboard and make a very small hole in it or a very narrow slit in it. Okay, narrow slit means a rectangular cut but which is very thin, narrow. Okay, so take a cardboard, hard cardboard, make a small hole in it or a narrow slit in it. So when you place this in front of outside, let us say in a room or near the window, such that sunlight falls on this cardboard or falls on this hole or slit, then what will happen? On the other side we will get a narrow beam of light. Okay, so then this hole or this narrow slit, whatever you take, will act like a very small source of light through which we get a narrow beam of light. Let us say then you make sunlight, you allow the sunlight to fall on this. It means you place it in such a position such that sunlight falls on it. You get a narrow beam of light on the other side. And then you place a prism. So it means if you have this cardboard here, okay, you get a narrow beam of light. You place a prism in front of this such that beam of light falls on the prism, on one of its face. Okay, one of its faces, this beam falls. Then you can move the prism little bit, you can turn it little bit so that on the other side you can get a band of 7 colors. You can see a beautiful band of 7 colors. This band actually can be seen when you, otherwise it will not be visible directly. If you place a screen here, screen means again you can take a thick hard cardboard with, you can cover it with white paper, okay, or you can have a wooden such piece and you can have a white sun mica on it. That will act like a white screen. Okay, so if you place a screen here, if you place this cardboard here with a small hole in it, let us say, then the hole will act like a point source of light because sunlight will fall on that, and then you get a narrow beam of light after which you will allow to fall in on one of the faces of the prism. You will turn the prism slightly so that on the other side where you have already placed one screen, you can get a beautiful band of 7 colors. So this phenomenon is very interesting, okay, and this splitting, we say actually this white light beam means sunlight beam. So this white light beam has split into 7 colors after passing through a prism. So these colors are not created actually by the prism, they are already present in the white light. Only prism has split this beam into 7 colors. Okay, and remember so we get the definition of dispersion here. So what is the definition of dispersion? The splitting of white light into different colored components is called as dispersion of white light. If you want, you can add prism also in it. The splitting of white light into 7 colors after passing through a glass prism is called as dispersion of white light. Okay, it's not necessary to add the prism. You can simply otherwise write the splitting of white light into its different colored components is called as dispersion of light. Now, to remember the order of these colors, you can remember that acronym VIBGYOR. See, VIBGYOR, VIBGYOR. You can remember this acronym to remember the order of or sequence of colors in this band. Okay, so B stands for violet, I for indigo, B for blue, G for green, Y for yellow, O for orange, and R for red. Now on the screen you get this band of 7 colors, and this band of 7 colors is called as spectrum. So I hope you have understood two terms now, dispersion and spectrum. What is dispersion? Splitting of white light into 7 colors, or splitting of white light into its different colored components is called as dispersion. And what is spectrum? The band of 7 colors or the band of colored components which is obtained after the dispersion of white light is called as spectrum. Okay, and it is obtained on a screen, otherwise you won't be able to see it. So you can say the band of 7 colors when the dispersion of which is obtained on the screen after the dispersion of white light is called as spectrum. Now let us see how this spectrum is formed. Let us see the reasoning. Let us see the explanation how the spectrum is obtained, how these different colors are obtained from white light. Here white light, with white light we mean sunlight or any light which contains these 7 colored components. So sunlight is called as white light. So let us try to understand how the spectrum is formed. Okay. So let us consider the ray diagram here. So we have prism here. This ABC is the cross section of the prism. I have a narrow beam of white light. Remember in the previous video where we have studied refraction of refraction of light. It was not white light in the previous video. It was monochromatic light here. Monochromatic means light which is containing only one color. And this white light contains 7 colors. So this is not monochromatic, it is polychromatic light. We call it white light. Okay. So white light, narrow beam is incident on this. So here I have drawn the normal. We know that this glass prism is optically denser. So I have not written here, but you should write that this is a glass prism and here we have air. Okay. So when light enters into it, it is entering from optically rarer to optically denser medium. So how the bending will take place? Bending will take place towards the normal. I have drawn this normal with a dotted line. Now in this case, instead of one ray or one line here, I will divide this actually is beam because ray is practically not possible. I have here shown the 7 parts, 7 components of this light. Okay, so 7 different lines are drawn, but remember, take care, this is my incident direction. So I have extended this by dotted line and this is a normal drawn. So the 7 components should be drawn between these two. So they should lie in this area only. So it is always better to extend the incident ray by dotted line and to draw the normal so that you draw this figure correctly by drawing the 7 refracted rays between these two dotted lines. Now when these 7 colors reach here, again here I have not drawn because at different points, otherwise you have to draw 7 normals and it will be very confusing. You know that now the rays are going to move, yes, here towards a normal. Now it is moving from denser to rarer medium, so away from the normal. Okay, and away from the normal. Otherwise, if you remember, in the previous video we have studied that in the prism, whenever the refraction takes place here on the surfaces of the prism, on the faces of the prism, the ray always bends towards the base of the prism. So you can remember this also. So this is bending towards base, All the rays are shown which are bent towards the base. But in this case, they should lie between these two dotted lines. So here, what you can do is, you can draw first this ray and then the lowest one, and then you can draw the remaining rays between it as you find convenient. So you have to draw 7 refracted rays and 7 emergent rays. And remember, you should put arrows on, you should put at least one arrow on each refracted or on each refracted as well as emergent ray. Okay, and write here VIB GYOR and write here white light spectrum or simply spectrum. So if you are asked to draw the ray diagram showing dispersion of white light, you can show it by drawing this way. Just mention air and glass prism. Rest you can just what I have done here, you need to do that. Now let us see why this dispersion, our actually question was why the dispersion has taken place. But before we do that, let us see this. If I suppose you accept that this is the diagram which is correct, okay? If this is correct, if I ask you which color has bent the least, which color has bent the least? So from here we can see that, see this is a red color, okay? This is the original direction of all the colors and here the bending takes place. So red color is lying in the uppermost place, okay? It is lying here. It is uppermost ray we can say, or uppermost color. So the red color has bent the least and violet color has bent the most. So you should be able to answer here which color bends the least? Red color. Which color bends the most? Violet color. Now I have told you that this splitting takes place inside the glass prism. Let us see the reason for it. Now monochromatic light means a light which has single color, and with color we mean single frequency. But in this case, white light or sunlight contains different colors and they all are having different frequencies and also different wavelengths. Okay? And so when the light enters, if you remember Snell's law of refraction, what we say? Yes, for a given pair of media and for a given color of light, the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to sine of angle of refraction is constant. So refractive index, whenever we talk about refractive index, it is for a given pair of media and for a given color of light. But in this case, this light is containing different colors. So when the light enters here, depending upon their frequencies, different bending will take place, because different colors will have different values of and hence different colors will have different values of refractive indexes. Okay, their refractive index values will be different, their frequencies are different. Because their frequencies are different, that means the colors are different, they will have different refractive index values, and we also know their speeds are different in glass. So when they have different speed, their bending will also be different. Okay. So what is the main cause of dispersion of white light? If I ask you, main cause of dispersion of white light is that different colors have different speed in glass. They do not have same speed in glass. So as different colors have different speed in glass, so they have different bending, so they have different values of refractive index. Okay. So which color has maximum or minimum speed in glass? I think so you should be able to answer now. See, if we consider this air, in air all the colors travel with the same speed. But when these colors enter into the glass, because the colors are different, their frequencies are different, we know that they travel with different speeds in glass. When they travel with different speeds, we have seen here that red color has bent the least. It means compared to violet color, small change in its speed has taken place. Violet color has bent the most. So maximum change in speed of violet color takes place when it enters into the glass. So we can say outside speed of light is maximum in air. Actually it is maximum in vacuum, but excluding vacuum we can consider the speed of light is maximum in air, that is c is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So since red color has bent the least, so speed has reduced the least. So speed has reduced the least means red color has maximum speed, because there is very small change. Change means decrease only, reduction only in its speed. So red color has maximum speed in glass, and so we can easily say violet color has minimum speed in glass. Okay, because it has bent the most. So more change or more decrease in its speed. Now next question is, which color has maximum refractive index, or which color has minimum refractive index of glass? Now you remember this formula we have done in the previous chapter, that N is equal to C upon V. refractive index is a ratio of speed of light in vacuum to speed of light in glass. So here refractive index of this glass for red color, if we talk about red color, okay, this red color has V. V is maximum, so N will be minimum. So refractive index of red color is minimum as N is inversely proportional to speed. It means with the color which has maximum speed in glass will have minimum value of refractive index, and the color which has minimum speed in glass, that is violet color, has maximum value of refractive index. Okay, so I hope you have understood this phenomena. You have understood the activity, how to get the spectrum of white light on a screen. If you are asked to draw the ray diagram showing this dispersion of white light, you can draw it properly. If you are asked these small questions, which color bends the least or the most, which color has maximum or minimum speed in glass, or which color has maximum or minimum refractive index of glass, I think so you should not have any problem if the concepts are clear. Okay, if the concepts are not clear, you might get confused. So be very careful. And remember the sequence. V is lying at the bottom here. So Vibgyor, violet at the bottom, a red above. I hope you know the definition of dispersion, splitting of white light into different colored components. Spectrum, the band of different colors or 7 colors obtained after the dispersion of white light takes place is called, that is spectrum. So I hope this dispersion topic is clear to you. Thank you, students.